So I really wanted to do this interview with you because we did this entire thing at a distance. Like, yeah, when we met, you got to experience, what was it, one session or two in person, like one alone and one in a group, I think, something like that. So,
Yeah.
and then we did like this whole program at a distance, which was about 13 sessions since, I guess it's been about 6 months, right? Yeah, we're already in June. So yeah, 6 months. How do you, how has it been for you? Like when we first met, I know you're talking about a lot of like physical pain, a lot of like body pain. I remember like stiffness, especially I think it was in the hands. And from how have you been feeling now?
I'd say, like, so definitely I don't have as much of the stiffness. I mean, I was doing a lot of different things, but yeah, this definitely helped in bringing my body into balance, because every single one, a lot of times I could feel like, say for example, I would get this horrible sort of under skin blood blistering on my legs a lot. I don't get that at all anymore. It's just like a sign of inflammation, so I don't get that. And I came off some of my medication, and yeah, I know that the inflammation in my body has gone down a lot. Yeah, that's been the biggest physical change. Yeah.
Wow, that's so incredible. 'Cause yeah, you're right. You were doing quite a few different healing modalities, and you're into, the whole Joe Dispenza movement as well, So I know like you are so advanced in your healing work that it was really cool to be able to come in and just, accompany you and share with you the techniques that I've been picking up and practicing and have found useful. And so the physical part is always really, it just blows my mind, right? Because we're just doing this like distance energy work, using
Mm.
frequencies, also using, the power of the voice and the word, and, coaching with certain questions on, where do you see yourself? Where do you want to be? And I think, because I remember we were working in that time about a lot of third chakra and sixth chakra came
Mm.
up, right? Which was just like being able to like be in the present and like trusting and joy and feeling confident and of putting your goals and reaching them. And to after doing the whole subconscious image reprogramming with VEO, in all of the exercises that came up with that about like obstacles and personal goals, like how was that experience for you?
Yeah, it was really cool. Like whenever we started that, it was like every single week that we did it, it was because it was kind of spaced out, like it was supposed to be every week, and then we kind of missed some, and it was like months later, but it didn't really matter because wherever we were at, it was very specific to where I was in my life. Like, say, for example, when I think the second to last session we did was about, well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but one of the sessions was about work. And yeah, and at the time I was like come back from Bali and was like looking for a job and feeling like I was in debt and feeling very like, oh no, like I need money. And it was that there was like specifically about like how you felt in your career and your finances and whatever. And yeah, then I got a job like like the next week, and like I just got it, and it started the week later. Do you know what I mean? Which is, and at the time, right now, the TV world, the world that I work in the UK, is like in the toilet. Like there's no work at the moment for anybody. Everybody's talking about it. And I came back, and I had a job when I came back as well. It was a part-time job, but within a month I had this great job that I'm working in now. And it's definitely, I would say, in part to like, well, I mean, it's all about beliefs as well, but the work that we did helped to like, align myself with those beliefs and to kind of take myself out of a bit of depression that I was in, of like, this isn't going to happen for me, and no, it's not going to work for anyone. But it just, yeah, it transcended all of that. So that I got the job. I got a job, a really great job, like a job that I feel like incredibly aligned with. Like great boss, great colleagues, great subject matter, great like hours, great location if I want to go to the office from where I live. Like it's just like really like with sitting there and feeling it all, I'm like, I am in alignment in some way that this has all come to me, do you know?
Oh my gosh, that is so exciting. I didn't know that part, but that's so awesome because we did work on that for a few weeks where it was like finding clarity and feeling like, yeah, I really want a job that challenges me, you know, and to hear you say that is like,
yeah, we got that.
it
Yeah, it
happened.
Yeah.
You did it. You did it, you know?
Total alignment for sure. Yeah.
That's so exciting. So awesome. So, you know, relief in the physical body, reaching goals in the finances and order and like career, like where you want it to be and like finding like that purpose and feeling like full in what you're doing. Like 2 out of 2, that's great, you know? Like, of course, you know, like, of course we have more challenges that come up, you know, I think like in this work, it's all like, you're just peeling layers, you know, you're constantly getting into that like next level, that like that next version of yourself that like, you know, it's like climbing little mountains, putting another goal, reaching it. You still have to face challenges, but now it's with that new mentality, right? Like I don't have problems. I just have challenges that I can resolve, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Well, how awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So what else? What else can we talk about? 'Cause, like, you know, usually when we talk about this work, it veil with the images and just having like that. Whoa, it's kind of like just bringing to your awareness, to your consciousness, like what's going on in the subconscious, right? And so we can talk about expanding myself in terms of my body or my health, and then my relationships with those around me, my love life, you know, my social life, my family life, and then also like my finances, my career, the way I look at life, and what I want my quality of life to be. So, are any of those other areas, places where you thought you got more clarity?
Yeah, I mean the stuff, the mother and father work was really, really powerful. I thought, like especially the one that I really remember because you know VEO gives you these prompts and affirmations. The one that was really powerful for me was about my mother and like you know understanding that I don't actually respect her and writing all the things down about her that I respected, and that then shifted me a little bit more because my relationship with my parents, you know, like you said, I've been on a big healing journey and it's like shifted incrementally, and this definitely helped as well. And like, you know, I've had to come back from where I was living for a long time and live at my parents' house. And, you know, in the past, you know, you're a grown woman, that feels very difficult. But it doesn't now. I'm just like, no, that's okay. And even with my other siblings who live here, which is always difficult. I have been able to catch myself a bit more in the relationship. You know, those little increments, this has definitely shifted it more than probably any of the other work I've ever done has, because those relationships can be really, really difficult with your brothers and sisters. So yeah.
Especially like you say, like as an adult, going back, it's really like this test almost, you know, where you can kind of like step back and say, wow, look how far I've gotten, right? Like, look how much I've grown. Look at these, I see myself like wanting to get triggered by these things, but I'm not, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And you still do sometimes, but yeah, you come back to baseline is different now. It's not as, and you know, I was, you know, I've always been very, what's it called, amazed by the chakra alignment work, like with, yeah, it's just incredible. Knowing just that feeling afterwards, you know, I meditate every day, but when you meditate after a session, after we've done a session, you can feel like these centers opening up more. You can feel things releasing, you know, like sometimes, you know, like you can burp or like, you know, things happen where you're like, oh my God, something's just cleared, you know, and you feel clearer. Oh, this is another interesting thing actually, Gabby. You know, one of my big things this year, I think, was about connecting more with my intuition, and it kept coming up for me, you know, go deeper into your intuition. And this work helped me with that. And like one of the interesting things I found recently is that I'm doing a training in emotional release work, and I was doing a practice session with someone from the course, And as I was doing this with her, it was a distance kind of thing as well over Zoom, and what she was feeling in her chest or in her back or whatever, I could feel it. And just like you can whenever you do your work, in the same way, I was doing that. Not consciously, it was just happening, and I was able to release for her and feel for her, and also, I was smiling so much in that session because I was like, oh, she's doing really, really well. But you can feel it when someone is, and someone's going there and feeling things and releasing. So yeah, that's been a big thing.
Wow, incredible. Yeah. So the tuning, biofield tuning work, right, is what we're talking about. And I just, because yeah, you're someone who's also done many modalities, we've seen many different things, but there is something special about using the sound frequencies in this 369, Tesla scale, because all of the frequencies of the forks are like that, 174, 532, they all have these really coherent frequencies that the body, it's just incredible when we're at a distance or in person. Yeah, you're right. You just start to feel how, your body is sending out this frequency. It's having this interaction with the coherent frequency, and it's like is auto-tuning itself just by sitting and relaxing. And then, like you said, like I like the incorporating of like meditative work, like breathing, of feeling, of burping, it's all transmutation of energy. That's all we're doing the entire time. So like that's, I think, the special part about using VEO to like bring these things into awareness, putting things more into alignment, and then going into the session. It really kind of integrates everything. So you come out feeling like, oh yeah, I just created this new neural network of these affirmations of what I want. And now I'm more integrated and more full and can move forward with this new energy.
Yeah. And it's about taking that and it moving forward, because sometimes I would feel like, yes, it was feeling good, but then it would go back again. But actually it's like I said, it's an incremental change. You need to do enough sessions to be able to get to a point where you're like, actually, I've moved on from that, I'm not there anymore. And like, yeah, you can feel it, because you have to, if you haven't integrated it properly, like it's really, that's the important bit, is about the integration process. Yeah.
And I think trusting the process, because you have to let your body take time to process all the work that we're integrating. I see it all the time. But yeah, a lot of this is also when we talk about positive intelligence, of being in this more positive mind frame, using the affirmations, creating this new neural pathway. That's what they talk about in this work. Like when you are no longer in like this rhythm where you're living the polarities at such a deep level, like a polarized level, then you can come into like an easier wave, right? So you're still in rhythm, you still have ups and downs, but you can come into a higher balance, or they call it the coefficiency. Your coefficient of your positive intelligence ratio is a little bit higher. So if you're like more in depression, maybe you're more in contentment, or maybe you're more in love, or maybe you're more in joy. But like it's like this intermittent. It takes time, But I really, I love this work, and I'm so excited that you found it useful, and that we could really do it all at a distance and have these really powerful,
really powerful
realizations and kind of like growth and taking you to the next level. Because that's the point. That's why I like, I kind of like that term, like coach, because even like if you go to the Olympics, you need a coach, right, to get you to that level. And so it's really just kind of having that reminder of like, the right, how can I get myself into this right mind frame, using my mind, using my words, what actions. And so I am like so excited that we can talk about this, and we can use technology to connect in this way, because at the core of it, that's what we are, right? We're energy. If we are waves and plasma, then of course we can do this work at a distance and have it be super, super powerful. So
absolutely. And it's sorry, I was going to say, yeah, and it's been super powerful. And like also I would say, like on the coaching front, like every time that we spoke or we had a session, there was always we always had a chat before, you would always kind of tune into where I was in my life and make sure, like, even because you have so much knowledge, Gabby, just so much like incredible knowledge about how to help people, and not just within the biotuning work and within, you know, VEO. There's like so much other knowledge that you have, which really, really helped me, and also made me, you know, I've always called you my sister because we are on a level. Like, it really, really feels like that. You know, every time we speak, we're just like, okay, I've got this to tell you, and I've got this to share with you. And yeah, that just that connection really, I don't know, I feel like it massively helped. Like, you're just easy to be with, easy to talk to, easy to, yeah, I find you similar to me in that way. So it's nice to be around someone who's like that, and I think it aids in the healing, you know.
Well, thank you so much. That's really, really, really amazing to hear, because yeah, I think it's so important for me to be able to connect with, like you said, like the person and where they're at and what they most need in this present moment for their highest good, to get to their maximum potential, right? Like, that's what I'm here for, like to maximize your results so that you're living your best life.